AITA for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me. Me and 2 other guys share an apartment together and we split all the bills. The only thing we don't split costs on is groceries. Everyone's in charge of buying their own food and we don't touch whatever doesn't belong to us in the fridge. We put our names on everything so no one gets mixed up. This issue has been going on almost a year and I'm sick of it. One of my roommates, keeps stealing my food. I get home from work and containers with my leftovers are sometimes missing. They have my name written on it, or my stuff finishes too quick. My gallon of milk, for example. I buy almond milk because I like the taste. But it seems to finish after a week even though I've only drank once or twice. I confronted about this lots of times and that caused a lot of arguments. He outright denies it and tells me I'm crazy even though it's so obvious. My other roommate and I couple together because we both work the same early morning shifts around the same area, so I know it's not him. It's always after we get back home and ours already left for work that I notice my food's gone. My roommates also had a similar problem but not as often as I do. I'm guessing cause doesn't like what he buys. The funny thing is buys a lot for himself and is even more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. Last week, my milk was nearly empty again and I got fed up. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. I drank what was left of my almond milk and refilled the gallon with the one I bought. This was to prove is the one stealing since he's lactose intolerant. The next day, Saturday, we get back from work and is pissed. He yelled at me that he was stuck in the bathroom for 40 minutes with diarrhea because of my milk. He was using it to make a shake. I only responded with, so then you're the one who's been stealing. He freaking exploded. Yeah, he admitted he was sometimes drinking my milk and eating my food, but he was more mad that I switched milks than the fact that he was caught. I told him I wouldn't have done that if he'd just stopped taking my stuff from the fridge or at least told the truth instead of trying to make it seem like I was making it up. My roommate backed me up and thought it was kinda funny he got payback for stealing from us. It's a little tense and my roommate told me is trying to convince him to agree to kick me out. Little does he know we're both looking to move somewhere else together cause we are sick of his shit. I told some buddies what happened and a few think I was an asshole for that. I feel like I'm not in the wrong here. He was taking my food and not even owning up to it and I wanted to prove it. Does that make me TA? NTA. As you said, if I wasn't stealing your food, he wouldn't have had a problem. Also, it's not like this is a life-threatening allergy. It causes a minor, if smelly, inconvenience. As someone who has lactose intolerance, I can agree. You may get explosive diarrhea or really gassy, but it ain't life-threatening. How dare you make me face the consequences of my own actions? My sister did something similar. She's a fan of spicy food, so she always has some spicy salsa around to add to every food. We had a friend who always invited people and used our things and my sister's salsa but denied it. One day my sister diluted the salsa content with garlic, oil and vinegar. They stopped. My brother had roommates that stole his food in college. He baked brownies with X-lax in them and left them out. The next day he noticed 2 missing. When everyone was home he said not to eat them, they have a diuretic in them and are for someone else. Both female roommates in the house admitted to eating them and one missed a final because she couldn't leave the bathroom. NTA. It's your food. You could have put your medicine in it or even your pet's medication in it. You could have put a laxative in it or even syrup of ipecac. And I would still say NTA. When people steal food, lie about it and don't replace it, they reap what they sow. Food is expensive, especially milk substitutes. Without replacing the food, he was essentially stealing money from your wallet. Oh yeah, it really is. I try to buy from grocery stores that sell all organic, so it does get pretty expensive. NTA. You can tell him you could have done something much worse like peeing in the milk. Or putting vinegar in it. Instead, you went a somewhat more mature way by buying real dairy milk. I was gonna drink that milk too, so better it wasn't pure vinegar lol. This comes up in every roommate co-worker stealing food post, but putting substances in your food that you wouldn't eat yourself, laxatives, syrup of ipecac, an emetic substance, causes vomiting, or even excessive spice beyond what you would eat normally, is illegal. Essentially booby trapping or poisoning your food in order to catch a thief is illegal. I also think that ARP's roommate would have a case if he decided to sue, since OP disguised regular milk as lactose free in order to cause someone physical harm. NTA. I read a story from a scam manager where something similar occurred. OP liked spicy food and food thief ate it, then reported OP to HR for trying to poison him. Eventually OP got fired after HR agreed with food thief. OP got a lawyer and story came out that HR and food thief were in a relationship. Company owner fired both offenders and hired OP back with increased pay. Dude sucks for stealing your food, and I would have done the same thing. NTA. If he steals from you, he should face consequences, especially after you bringing it up to him. Why would he expect you buying and using products that accommodate to his health condition? NTA. There is a saying in Finnish that translates to "the greedy ones have a shitty end," and I think that's what happened here. Precisely what's the other phrase I'm thinking of? The rules for me, only for thee? How rude of him to be all "you don't touch my stuff, but how dare you not share yours." NTA. Speaking as a lactose intolerant person. NTA. Dude had to learn a lesson. If drinking real milk would have killed him, or hospitalized him, then I'd say it was too far, and there should be a better way. But having to shit for 40 minutes is a hilarious, unfair punishment. Well played, OP. Well played. NTA. As my husband always says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Guy got what he deserved. Yeah, he literally suffered the consequences of his own actions. And he's mad about it. I drank liquid that was not intended for me, and that liquid that another person bought for themselves and their own preferences did not agree with me. How dare they? NTA. Keep doing it. Drive him crazy. Make him leave. He's an awful roommate. I would have done that sooner once I suspected he was doing that. NTA. Had he not stolen your milk, then it wouldn't have been a problem. No one should think you're TA. NTA. It's perfect. You caught him and punished him with one move. I suggest you take this to AITA Revenge. NTA. I think it's perfectly called for. And I would tell him that you will continue doing it. Sometimes do it, sometimes don't. And that if you do have almond milk, regular milk has been mixed in it, don't do it. Pretty sure that might be nasty, although you can always test the theory. And that you are putting milk, cheese and or butter in everything you cook again, don't have to. Hopefully, that keeps his mitts off your goods. After all, they are yours, and he had no business stealing. My sister did the same thing to me. I know it sounds petty because she's my sister, but she kept taking my almond milk that I use because I'm lactose intolerant just because she liked the flavor. She has no intolerance to regular milk and also didn't ask me to have some. When I got sick of her lying about it repeatedly after continuously asking her to stop, I bought regular milk and curdled it by mixing it with vinegar over heat. She learned that lesson the hard way and I have no regrets. NTA. NTA. He's been caught. When are the two of you getting paid back for all the food he's stolen over the past year? I'm lactose intolerant and that's all that would have happened to me, but the amount of lactose needed for a reaction and the reaction itself does vary. I've met people that get physically ill from the smallest bit of cheese and are impacted for a few days after, and people who only get gas or mild diarrhea after a few slices of pizza. If you knew his symptoms ahead of time and an NTA, but if you were just winging it and didn't know how it would affect him, then AITA. As long as you're still living there, You might want to switch it up and put your almond milk in an empty dairy milk container just to make sure he's not tempted. NTA, fahaha, you're quite the hero. Man, your roommate reeks of entitlement. NTA. If he wasn't stealing from you, it wouldn't be a problem if you dosed all your food with laxatives.